host, Andrew Romanella.
When you play Battle in Mario Kart and you don't turn off any of the items, there are bananas everywhere. I mean, it's like you're losing your balloons because you're slipping on bananas left and right. Bananas everywhere. What's going on, everybody? Hey, welcome into another edition of The Rome Show here on 12ouncesports.com, broadcasting live on X, on YouTube, on Roku, and Fire TV. Hope you caught the intro because we played the record-breaking goal. Alexander Ovechkin scores goal number 895. Becoming the greatest goal scorer in National Hockey League history over the weekend. And make no bones about it, that is the greatest story that came out of Saturday and Sunday. But that is not the only big-time story that came out of Saturday and Sunday. UConn, the women's team, won their 12th national championship, dismantling University of South Carolina, and the Final Four on the men's side happened, and we have a championship game tonight plus weekend top plays. So a busy, jam-packed, historic, and record-breaking Monday here on The Rome Show. If you want to get in on the action, YouTube or X, it's really easy. Just comment and we could go talking live. The Rome Show, on Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok is the social media handle, or just follow the mothership 12OZ Sports. If you missed it on the intro, I'll play it again here in a second. But yesterday, halfway through the second period, Washington Capitals versus New York Islanders, Alexander Ovechkin went far side, received the pass, and took a beautiful wrist shot to score his 895th career goal, passing the great one, Wayne Gretzky, who was at 894 for about the last 30 plus years. A record that no one believed would ever be broken has now been broken in nearly the exact same amount of games, 1,487. Alexander Ovechkin cemented himself yesterday as a Mount Rushmore player of all time in the National Hockey League. And when I replay the clip, I want everybody to notice how excited everybody else is for Alexander Ovechkin, how excited his teammates are for him, how there is not one person that is mad that if somebody was to beat the record of the great one, we're completely okay. It's Alexander Ovechkin. He's fun. He's good. He cares. He's a winner. From the outside looking in, from the fans' perspective, he does everything right. And Alexander Ovechkin is a Mount Rushmore player in National Hockey League history and is a Mount Rushmore teammate. And you see that when he wins or breaks, an individual record, it's more about team when he speaks and when you watch the video. Here are the clips again. First, of the high view, Alexander Ovechkin breaking Wayne Gretzky's 30-plus year record. The excitement from the team. And it was so cool to hear Alexander Ovechkin speak. And one of the best things he said was, "We did it, boys." And it's like, dude, you did it. And not in his mind, because in his mind, there's no way he could be the greatest goal scorer of all time without his teammates, without his coaches, without his training staff, without the front office. There's a lot of things that have to go right in your career for you to break certain records. This is one of those records. And so much went right for Alexander Ovechkin in his career. One of those things being his health, which is why him breaking the record this year after breaking his leg at one point during this season is actually the coolest stat that you will hear when it comes to the chase of this record. Something else that needs to be noted, and then I have one more clip from Alexander Ovechkin I'd like to show to you before we move on to the UConn Huskies' 12th national championship in history with Gino Auriemma. Alexander Ovechkin has played 61 games this year, okay? 42 goals, also has amassed 27 assists, okay? Which is a great number. He's got 69. Oh, correction, I lied. No, I didn't lie. 69 total points. And the coolest part about this entire thing is a month or so back, Alexander Ovechkin decided to donate money per goal as he got to the chase to pediatric cancer. So not only a great dude, not only something really, really cool to watch, because when history is broken, it's really fun to watch, but also a really great person seeing a greater good than just himself. Here's a really cool top bottom I found last night, because the broadcast crew from Alexander Ovechkin's first goal in the National Hockey League is exactly the same as the broadcast crew yesterday that called his 895th goal. And here's 1 minute clip, really cool, of the first goal Alexander Ovechkin scored with the broadcast crew and the record-breaking goal he scored last night.
Halpern shaded there by Rick Nash. Dinas Zubris spins. Ovechkin fires. He scores! Alexander Ovechkin, welcome on board.
That's where it all started. Look at those jerseys.
Pulling the trigger, and this youngster hammers it home. What a first goal for Alexander Ovechkin.
Neutralized 13 of the last 14 shorthanded situations against them. Strome crisscrossing with Chikrin through center. Send in Wilson on the flank. Cross ice. Ovechkin fires. Score! The chasing days are done. Alex Ovechkin is the greatest goal scorer in the history of the NHL.
And I just wanted to take a second to talk about that last part right there. The chasing days are over. Alexander Ovechkin is the greatest scorer in the NHL. And yesterday, while I was watching this go on, it really made me think for a quick second and appreciate some of the greatness that I've seen in my lifetime. And not greatness where it's the back end of Michael Jordan's career. And I know he's the greatest basketball player of all time, but I didn't really get to watch him get there. Or it's the tail end of Wayne Gretzky's career. Or I see what this player in the back end 8 years, but the first 10 years, I don't really remember. With Alexander Ovechkin, I watched the entirety of his career. Sidney Crosby, LeBron James, the entirety of their career. Steph Curry. And to me, I'm starting to realize that you don't get this all the time. This is greatness at the greatest level. This is top 5 player in a sport all time type stuff. And when this happens, you have to take a second to appreciate it. I was sitting there last night saying to myself, I cannot believe when I'm watching this clip of his first goal and his record-breaking goal that I had the opportunity to cognitively watch his entire career from age 14 to 34. That, to me, is why sports are awesome, or a part of why sports are awesome. That, to me, is why, as I've gotten older and talked more on this microphone, I've realized to appreciate guys like LeBron James, who earlier in my fanship of life didn't like. For what reason? I have no idea. But you got to appreciate greatness. You have to appreciate great teams. There are a lot of people out there right now that probably, by definition of verbiage, would say they hate Patrick Mahomes. Well, you are missing a show. You are missing greatness. You are missing some of the best football you've ever seen played by an individual, okay? You can't miss greatness because you don't like the sweater of the team the guy's playing for. At the end of the day, it is so hard to be a professional athlete, let alone be a great professional athlete, let alone be an elite of an elite Hall of Famer professional athlete. So when you get a chance to watch that, we should enjoy more than criticize. And I think more times than not, a great professional athlete is more criticized than praised, because once you reach a certain point, you're supposed to be that good, right? Like, what would have happened if Alexander Ovechkin didn't break the record, though he had a real chance all year? What if he didn't come back from the leg injury? And what if he wasn't the same guy next year? And what if he stayed at 875 goals? Is everyone going to look at Alexander Ovechkin differently? Because if you listen to the Rome Show every Tuesday, which is tomorrow, and Rocky Romanella joins, and we do hockey with Rocky, we talk a lot about Alexander Ovechkin's game, okay? And now, do not get me wrong, okay? When you look at Sidney Crosby, who he's often compared to because they came into the league together, and you look at Alexander Ovechkin, a more complete game of hockey is most likely being played with Sidney Crosby. But the skill set in specific areas, unbelievable, especially scoring, obviously, with Alexander Ovechkin. But there's more to it than that, okay? Because you don't have a response like that when you score the best goal of your career, the record-setting goal from your teammates if you're a bad person, if no one really cares about you coming close to that record. So it's clear and obvious that there's more than just scoring goals with Alexander Ovechkin. And generally, you have to be that type of person to reach these type of heights. I was fired up yesterday, and it just reminds me to remind you to enjoy greatness. Yeah, sometimes they're not on your team. Sometimes it's annoying as hell, but you got to enjoy it because you don't get every lifetime with that elite of an athlete. You don't know if you'll get another. Will there be another Alexander Ovechkin? Probably not for me to watch. Okay, maybe though, because it was a generation after a generation from Gretzky to Ovechkin, but you just don't know. So while it's going on, you have to enjoy it rather than hate it. I hope you don't hate this show, The Rome Show, 12ozsports.com. We broadcast live on YouTube X, Roku, and Fire TV. Another historic win last night for Geno Smith and the UConn Huskies, who won their 12th national title under the guidance of the greatest of all time, Geno Auriemma. Oh, I banged the volume on this one. Sorry, people.
There's the buzzer. It's an even dozen for Geno Auriemma and Connecticut. The final page.
82-59. UConn was elite last night. 2 times they beat South Carolina this year. Both times they held South Carolina to under 60 points. Sarah Page and Azzi, I say her name wrong every time. Azzi Fudd. I'm terrible at it. But Sarah Strong, Azzi Fudd, and Paige Beckers, they had a combined 65 points, whereas South Carolina only scored 59. Strong had 24, Fudd had 24, and Beckers had 17. That 3 set of players reached 100 points in each NCAA tournament that they played in. That's the first trio since 2009. Another UConn trio led by Maya Moore also scored 100 points in each NCAA tournament. That's impressive stuff right there. And Fudd and Becker's been together for 3+ years at UConn, dealt with injuries, couldn't get that elusive national title, and they finally do. That was the 2022 title game rematch with which USC won and defeated Becker's Geno Auriemma and the Huskies. UConn beat 3 number 1s en route to the national championship, and they won their final 4 games, the 2 games in the final 4, the semi and the final, by a combined 57 points. Yeah, You heard that correctly. First title, as I said before, since 2016. Gino Auriemma was awesome to listen to after this game. He talked a lot about how people, after Breonna Stewart and the gang won 4 straight titles in 2016, and Stewie ended her career, a lot of people, as Gino stated, asked, why are you going to keep doing this? You got to go out on top. And you could see the emotion that hit him yesterday when they won that title. So congrats to the UConn Huskies. Paige Becker's now about to be probably go be a top 3 pick in the WNBA. And I think now you might see the end of Gino Auriemma's career at 71 years old. He still looks like he's having a blast coaching, okay? And he clearly can still do it to the greatest of levels. But we'll see. We shall see. Again, congrats to the UConn Huskies. We'll take a quick time out here on the Rome Show. When we come back, we talk men's Final Four, and then we have the weekend top plays for the people. It's me, Andrew Romanella. It's you, the listener. We're on 12 OZ Sports, and we're back after this.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money, and we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
Yeah, it's the Rome Show. 12ouncesports.com. YouTube, X, Fire, Roku TV. So many places you can listen, watch, do whatever you need to do. Just share it with a friend if you missed any part of the show. Rome Show podcast, wherever you listen to or get your podcasts. That's an easy place to share with a friend. You just send a link. They're in their car. They got the Apple CarPlay going. They just hit the Rome Show link you sent them. Bang. And your 27-minute ride to work just got 27 times better. We appreciate all the listeners that tune in and listen to the Rome Show and 12 OZ Sports. Please continue your support because it keeps us afloat. There's the word we were looking for. Duke could not stay afloat over the weekend versus the University of Texas. Sadly, the Duke Blue Devils, who one, were my pick to win the Natty. Two, were a lot of people's pick and belief to be the best team in this tournament, squandered what felt like 16 different leads before eventually losing to Houston in the Final Four. One of the either best comebacks or worst collapses that you have ever seen in your time watching college basketball. Duke was up by 14 at one point in the second half, late in the second half. But I don't think you need to look any farther than them being up by 6 with 50 seconds left and the ball, and then them being up by 3 with 30 seconds left and the ball, then them being on the free throw line up by 1, missing free throws, then fouling, though I don't agree it was a foul on Cooper Flagg. So the numbers can tell you whatever they want. Up by 4. At the end of the day, okay, with 11:54 left in the contest, all right, Cooper Flagg hit a bucket. And then from that point on, the Cougs outscored the Blue Devils 28-11. Duke was 2 of 11 from the field with 5 turnovers to finish. Okay. The Cougars went on a 9-0 run in the final 35 seconds of the game to find themselves victorious. And now you wonder if you'll ever see Cooper Flagg again in college, or if it's a foregone conclusion he's going to go to the National Basketball Association. We have a lot of time to debate that. Finding out who the number 1 pick is going to be key in that as well. But shout out to the Cougs for their fight there. Calvin Sampson had a great quote after the game. He said, if you have a culture, quitting is not part of the deal. We're just going to play better. On Houston being down by 14. And that's a fact. And that's exactly what Houston did. And by the way, Jawan Roberts was the one that got fouled on the free throw line by Cooper Flagg, walked the distance of the floor down by 1. He was a 62.5% free throw shooter and hit both on the 1-and-1 to give the Cougs the 1-point lead. And that is what you should be doing in the clutch moments down the stretch. On the flip side, Florida outscored Auburn by 14 points in the second half, in large part thanks to Walter Clayton Jr., who had 34 points on the evening, his second straight 30-point contest in the Elite Eight and in the Final Four. He was 11 of 18 from the field, 5 of 8 from three-point land, and he led Florida's charge back. They went into halftime down by 8. Bruce Pearl's Auburn Tigers were like 1,000-0 when going into halftime, leading by like 5 or more points. Not on this day. And the Gators win 79-73. And so now your national championship game is University of Florida versus University of Houston, and I love it. 2 head coaches. One's going to get their first national championship in history. They both have never won a natty, okay? This is Calvin Sampson's time with him and Houston. This team has been knocking on the door for the last 3 years, okay? And now it is time. Whereas Florida, in my opinion, they have and are an elite team, okay? But they haven't been knocking on this door for the last 3 years. Like, it feels like Houston is a throwback in multiple ways. The grittiness with which they have, the ability to play 19 different offenses on the floor, but more so than anything else, in an age when transferring and portal is a huge thing. Now, this might not be true. It's just a feeling. It feels like they're a team that is stuck together. It feels like their core has been together for like 3 or 4 years. That's what it feels like. Okay. And so I think this is that chance. You know, a lot of these universities, they get like 1 or 2 chances every 10 or 15 years to get that national championship. Houston has that 1 or 2 chance in that every 15 or 20 year window right now. I think they have the coach. I think they have the players. I think they have the attitude. All right. With that being said, I think I'm picking Florida. Yeah. Florida's favored by only 1.5. So they're essentially calling this a final buzzer beater type contest, which I agree with. Both teams had to come back in their semifinal. So neither team's coming in and saying to themselves, woo, we are riding high. I'd give a slight grittiness edge to Houston, but I give the best player left on either side of the floor to Florida. Okay. And I just feel like it's that could be the difference maker. Though I thought that should have been Cooper Flagg for Duke, it wasn't. Whereas it looks like Walter Clayton Jr. could be that dude. Okay. So I am going to take Florida here at the -1.5 tonight because I think that it's their game. 8:50 tip off Okay, 8:50 tip-off. If you want some more of the numbers, the over-under in this thing's 141.5. They feel it's going to be a defensive affair. Actually, that's now dropped to 140.5. So even more so defensive affair. I would take the under in that as well. Just a quick little early for the people. I got another banana for you as well. But we need to do something first. And that, ladies and gentlemen, we call the weekend top play. All right, here we go. Weekend top plays. We get it started with the number 5. We're going to give number 5 to Paige Beckers on an and one. I got a lot of videos here. Let's check out if it's this one. It is Paige Beckers. Little give and go. Takes the contact. Bang! And one. Look at the excitement on UConn's faces. Both Beckers on the floor, their teammate coming over, the bench getting fired up. They're up by 20 plus late in the game, and it's UConn's to lose. Paige Beckers and one. That's your number 5. Excuse me. Here is numero 4. Watch Elijah Martin here. Okay, first is steal, then oh my God. Oh, don't worry. Oh, don't you worry. I got a little replay action coming for the people here. Oh, man. What a vertical. First off, the defense, okay? Not by him, by his teammate. But then the transition, he takes off from about halfway between the foul line and the baseline and shoves it down the Auburn defenders. Faces Elijah Martin, your number 4 play. We move on. 3. Anyway, that would be a 2-set clip, okay? First and foremost, you need to watch this part of the clip, okay? Here's Houston. They're down by 3. The inbounds, they steal it. It's a missed 3-pointer, okay? With Joseph Tugler on the putback dunk. Missed 3-pointer. Tugler, putback dunk. Bang. But then we talked about a missed free throw before. Oh, man, here it is. Free throw miss flag. It's called for the foul right there. Uh-oh. Well, then here comes your 62.5% free throw shooter and DeJuan Roberts, and bang, number 1. And can he do it? 19.6 on the clock. Yes, he can. But then Houston's got to play defense, okay? So here's Cooper Flagg's real opportunity. Spin move, did the key, pulls up short. No! And then later on, we're trying to channel our inner Christian Leitner, okay? And it's not going to work. That ball gets fumbled around, tips around. Who's got a Kniffle? No. Oh, missed. Houston to the final, your number 3 play. We continue on, and it is what we saw before. Your number 2 play is number 2.
Ryan Leach.
The UConn Huskies.
On behalf of the NCAA and the entire Division I Women's Basketball Committee, present the championship trophy to the University of Connecticut and Coach Gino Auriemma, who's over here giving host.
And he hosts the trophy. Good number 2 play, Gino Auriemma hosting the trophy. Number 1, oh yeah. If you didn't expect this to be number 1 today, you are crazy. It is the best play that you're going to see from both weekends. It is.
10 minutes from
No, you didn't. It's this one.
Number 1.
Alexander, another view of it. Sure, we'll give you an up-close and personal one. Tighter angle. Watch the Stelly. Slides across. Team gets excited. Everybody's hyped. Alexander Ovechkin, the greatest goal scorer in the history of the National Hockey League. Congratulations to Ovi on breaking a record that no one ever thought would be broken. Let's just finish. That's right. And I gave you before Florida at -1.5, and now I'm going to give you the Pistons at -6.5 over the Kings. That's my NBA hardwood pick. That's my second pick of the night for the people. That is how we finish the show here on a Monday. I hope you had a blast. I did. I love top plays on a Monday. I love record-breaking performances, and I love the Rome Show. I hope you do as well. Share it with a friend. Tell everybody to listen tomorrow. It's a Hockey with Rocky. We love that ish. All right. Andrew Romanella, you have an electric day. Until tomorrow, I'm just going to say here, peace.
Thank you for listening.